Good day everyone, this is your teacher Michael. Today we will be having a post discussion about our first three lessons. Lesson 1, we have the earthquake's active and inactive fault, focus and epicenter, and intensity versus magnitude. Followed by lesson 2, still under week 1, we have the two types of seismic waves. First, we have P wave, and second, we have S wave. For week 2, we have our lesson 3, the typhoon, and why is Philippines prone to typhoon. So let's discuss first about earthquake. Let's compare what's the difference between active and inactive fault, focus versus epicenter, and intensity versus magnitude. Okay, before we proceed to active and inactive fault, let's have a quick review first. What does fault mean? Faults are large breaks or cracks on the surface of the earth. It can be found in many places. I presume that you personally have observed or seen this kind of, deformation on the road, aren't you? Whether it was small or large breaks, it was still a fault. Whether the cracks are deep or shallow, there are deformations in their surrounding rock features. Faults are the most obvious indications of earthquake activity. When you see these kinds of deformations, automatically we think that, okay, earthquake happened here at some point in my life. So let me proceed first to active fault. Active faults can be defined as a fault that will possibly be the cause of another earthquake in the near future. From the word active, diba? We are sure that an earthquake will happen again in this area, in these exact large breaks in the near future. We don't exactly know when, but one thing is for sure, earthquake will reoccur. Opposite to active fault, we have inactive fault. They do not show any signs of generated earthquakes within the last 10 years, but possibly, pwede, yeah, it can still generate earthquakes in the near future. But 10,000 years was an enormous amount of time where earthquake did not happen. That's why it's certainly safe to call it inactive. Like if you have planning to build a house, then yung nabili yung lupa is near to full, make sure that seismologists have sorted it to the group of inactive faults so that you will not be able to experience a horrible effect that earthquake might bring. Okay, as you can see here on the image, we have active and inactive fault represented by these segmented red lines here. Obviously, active fault has a large break compared to inactive fault. As of today, there's no individual or seismologist has discovered a tool or an instrument that can predict when an earthquake will strike in a particular area. These faults are, the only data we have to at least have a knowledge where an earthquake will rupture. Okay, next up, we have focus versus epicenter. Just a basic or shallow difference between these two. Focus means the place inside, remember, inside Earth's crust where an earthquake originates. Then just above the focus, we have the epicenter, from the Greek word epi, which means above. Okay, again, focus, the place inside Earth's crust where an earthquake originates. Then just above it, we have the epicenter. Okay, the last one, we have intensity versus magnitude. This is one of the topics that a lot of you have found it difficult to compare and contrast. So let's have first the magnitude. It is the energy released by an earthquake at the focus. It is being calculated and recorded by an instrument called seismograph. So as you can see here below, you can see a particular seismograph, and the more darker and extensive the lines are, the more energy being released by an earthquake. So ito pala yung mini-measure ng seismograph, yung energy na nare-release ng earthquake at the focus, not on the epicenter but at the focus. Okay, next is we have the intensity. It is the strength of an earthquake perceived and felt by people in a certain locality. When measuring the intensity, people's reactions and experiences are the top priority. Intensity is generally higher near the epicenter. Actually, you have the modified Mercalli scale located in your book, showing the different levels of intensity. For example, we have intensity 1. This earthquake is felt by only a few people under very special circumstances. And let's say intensity 5, felt by nearly everyone, many awakened. If you are asleep and because of earthquake, bigla kang nagising. Diba? Dishes and windows broken. Plaster has been cracked. The last intensity is we have the intensity 12. Damage is total. Yung grabe na talaga. And waves seen on ground surfaces. Objects thrown up in air. Nangalagpot na inyong mga kagamitan. Okay, that's all for lesson 1. So now let's proceed to lesson 2. Still under week 1, we have seismic waves. And divided into 2. We have P wave and S wave. Seismic waves are the waves of energy caused by the sudden breaking of rock within the earth or an explosion. Just like what I've said before, when two tectonic plates overcome the friction, a great amount of energy will be released onto the ground. This energy will travel through waves. So this is what we call the seismic waves. And seismic waves, just like what I've said, is divided into 2. We have P wave and S wave. Let's have the P wave first. This is the fastest kind of seismic wave and consequently the first to arrive at a seismic station. The P wave can move through solid rock and fluids like water or the liquid layers of the earth. It pushes and pulls the rock it moves through, just like sound waves push and pull the air. Just like what you can see here, P waves, just it travels through a straight line. Let me proceed to the second type of seismic wave. We have the S wave or the secondary wave. It is the second wave you feel in an earthquake. An S wave is lower than a P wave and can only move through solid rock, not through any liquid medium. So because of this property of S wave, seismologists have concluded that the Earth's outer core is a liquid. Okay? They thought like, since S wave cannot travel in this particular area, so it must be composed of liquid medium. Okay? Because we cannot detect second wave here. What we have here now are the movements of P wave and S wave. So as you can see, at the above, at the top, at the first movement, we have the P wave. It's just like it travels in a straight line, whereas the S wave, it travels like a body of snake or a wave on a particular ocean, just like that. Just look at the difference between the movements of these two waves. Okay, we are done with lesson 2, the seismic waves, the primary and secondary wave. Let's now proceed to lesson 3, the typhoon. Why is Philippines prone to typhoon? Bakit pa palagi nalang pinabagyo itong Pinas? Okay, the Philippines is an island country of Southeast Asia in the Western Pacific Ocean. The Philippines is prone to tropical cyclones due to its geographical location. We are located kasi, yung Pilipinas, sa lugar kung saan heavy rains and flooding of large areas are usually produced, and also strong winds which result in heavy casualties to human life and destructions to crops, properties, establishments, buildings, etc. This is just an additional information that I found on the internet, and I decided to include it in our discussion. So here are the top 5 reasons why the Philippines is so disaster prone. First is we have warm ocean waters. We are on warm ocean waters. Okay? As you all know, the typhoon kasi requires warm ocean waters to thrive. Okay? Second one, we have the coastal homes. If you are near ocean, if your house is built near ocean, most probably you will be the one to experience a horrible damage that typhoon might bring. Third one is we have deforestation. Negative effects like this disruption of water cycle and climate change, as we all know. Fourth one, we are located in the ring of fire. We are prone on earthquakes. Okay. Fifth one is underdevelopment. Mga bahay or establishmento na gawa sa kahoy na isang hampas lang ng bagyo sira na. Okay? Let's now proceed to how typhoon is being developed. Okay? A typhoon forms when winds blow into areas of the ocean where the water is warm, usually temperature above 26.5 degrees Celsius. These winds collect moisture and rise while colder air moves in below. As you can remember, or if you can remember, the process of convection where the warm water rises and the cold air sinks. Okay, this creates pressure which causes the winds to move very quickly. The winds rotate or spin around a center called an eye. The more warm air and moisture there is, the more intense the winds. While typhoons can occur any time of the year, the conditions are most likely to be right for them to happen between June and November. So that ends our discussion. Thank you for listening. I hope you learned something new, and good luck for your next or mini activities and tasks before the third prelim examination. Your third stage of SIP is coming, and we will meet soon through Zoom consultation or meeting. So bye bye.